It's just got really bad down here.
Your office here, wish to sleep. Your office here, wish to sleep.
Kensington, a name that now pops up everywhere in social media posts, breaking news stories, and countless Kensington, Philadelphia documentary clips. But none of those screens can prepare you for what it's like to stand here yourself. Because Kensington isn't a show. It's not a backdrop for viral videos. And it's definitely not some far-off world.
The only place this place is going to lead you, jail, dead, institution.
It's a real struggling piece of America, a place that reflects the homeless crisis in America, a crisis that's been growing for years.
I have been in situations where I had to fight for my life. Literally fight for my life. Guys will strangle you, leave you deserted. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Right now, I wake up every morning and I cry. I cry because I just want out so bad. I just want out so bad.
Here, nothing is hidden behind charts or political debates. It's all right in front of you, happening in real time, every single minute. And the question that hits you the moment you arrive and stays with you long after you walk away is painfully clear. How did we let an American neighborhood fall this far without trying to stop it sooner? Walking into Kensington doesn't feel like you're entering a regular neighborhood. It feels more like stepping straight into a raw, unedited documentary. A reality so open and so constant that pretending not to see it becomes impossible. The first thing that hits you isn't noise. It's the quiet, a heavy, unmoving quiet that rests on every street, where tiredness shows on people's faces like a shadow they can't shake. Men and women move through the blocks in a slow, steady rhythm, moments of awareness drifting into moments of struggle. Some sit alone on the curb, lost in their thoughts. Others lean against faded brick walls, their bodies trapped in cycles of dependence that never seem to loosen. These scenes repeat day after day, forming a pattern you can't ignore. Local counts say Philadelphia has well over 5,000 residents experiencing homelessness, and a large share of them gather here in Kensington. The exact figures shift a little year to year, but the truth stays the same. This part of the city has become the center point of Philadelphia's drug crisis, a place reshaped by a problem that moves faster than the systems built to fight it.
Part of the solution is just having boots on the ground and make sure that they can set up. You know, you gotta have caring people who really care about the community out here at the same time. There's people that's gonna enforce the law at the same time to clean this area up. So it's gonna take all hands on deck.
But walking these streets shows you something statistics can't express. You notice the loneliness in the way people sit, the tiredness in their eyes, the kind that comes from trying to make it through one day at a time. And every now and then, between the hard moments, you catch a small spark of hope. A quick glance upward, a reminder that life didn't always feel like this. And that's when a deeper truth hits you. People here aren't only battling addiction, they're fighting something quieter, something heavier, the feeling of being unseen. A sense that the world has moved forward without them, that their struggle has become too familiar to shock anyone anymore. This is the breaking point, not just for individuals, but for an entire community holding on with whatever strength it still has. Stepping further into Kensington, you start to see something outsiders almost never understand. People here aren't staying because they want to. They're staying because in so many ways they feel stuck. The Kensington fentanyl crisis is just the part everyone can see. Underneath it is a complicated mix of fear, old wounds, and a total lack of reliable support. It's a force strong enough to hold people in place, even when every instinct tells them to run.
The crystal epidemic. Let's talk about crystal meth. During the past year, more people are doing crystal than ever. They're not smoking crack no more. They're just doing crystal meth. Yes, and it's not just white people, it's a lot of black people, okay? Everybody's tried it.
Many share nearly the same story. They tried to leave. They tried to get away from these blocks, sometimes making it a few streets over, sometimes reaching another part of the city. But once withdrawal hits, not as a worry, but as a full-body attack, everything changes. Your hands shake, your mind races, and the pain becomes unbearable. In that moment, every plan disappears. Survival becomes the only goal. And for many, the only place where relief is even possible is right here. And then there's the system they're expected to work through. Substance abuse rehabilitation programs exist, but getting into them is a challenge of its own. It's hard to keep paperwork when you don't have anywhere safe to put it. It's hard to wait for a call when you don't have a phone. It's almost impossible to sit through long intake appointments when your whole body is fighting withdrawal. A treatment bed might be available today, gone tomorrow, and in Kensington, one night can change everything. Behind all of this is trauma. Trauma from childhood, trauma from the streets. Trauma from feeling invisible for too many years. Kensington is dangerous, but in a strange way, it feels familiar. It's the one place where no one questions your shaking hands or the exhaustion on your face. No one asks why you're hurting. The judgment disappears. And that feeling of being understood becomes a kind of gravity, pulling people back even when they're trying their hardest to move forward. This is why leaving Kensington is never as simple as telling someone to go get help. From the outside, it may look like a choice. From the inside, it feels like a maze with no clear exit, a maze most people will never recognize unless they walk these streets themselves. Even in the middle of all this suffering, the city hasn't completely stepped back. In the last few years, officials have pushed harder to intervene, sending outreach teams directly into the streets shaped by the Philadelphia drug epidemic. These teams walk the blocks every day, offering basic medical care, explaining detox options, and opening small windows of possibility, brief moments where someone might feel ready to reach for help. They understand that sometimes one honest conversation can be the start of a lifeline. But timing is everything in Kensington. People who want treatment often can't wait days for a bed. Withdrawal doesn't pause for paperwork. The fast track system built to move people quickly into care sounds good on paper, but the crisis on the ground moves faster than any office, any schedule, any form waiting to be approved. Inside the heart of the Kensington open-air drug market, chances for recovery can disappear in the same amount of time it takes to fill out a single sheet of paper. That's why harm reduction workers are so important. Their job isn't to criticize, it's to keep people alive long enough to imagine something different. Mobile units clean infected wounds. Vans hand out essentials. Outreach tables offer water, first aid supplies, and a brief sense of steadiness. These programs don't promise dramatic change. They promise survival. And for many here, survival is the first fragile step toward hope. The city has also added community response teams, cleanup crews, and special court programs meant to steer people towards support rather than punishment. But progress in Kensington is fragile. Completion rates in these programs stay low, not because people reject help, but because the pain here runs deeper than what most systems were designed to handle. Housing remains one of the hardest pieces. Even as shelter space grows, the need grows faster. Outreach workers often have to tell someone finally ready for help to come back tomorrow. And in Kensington, tomorrow is never promised. The efforts are real, the intentions are real, but the crisis moves with a speed and force that outruns the very systems trying to slow it down. While the world focuses on addiction and homelessness, there's another group living this crisis in a quieter, often more painful way, the residents of Kensington themselves. These are the families who still make their homes here, the small business owners who open their doors each morning unsure of what they'll see outside, and the older neighbors who remember a time when these streets looked completely different. Their story is often overlooked, even though they stand in the middle of this reality every single day. For them, everyday life is shaped by uncertainty. Some mornings start with a simple question: is it safe to step outside today? Many have to walk around people sleeping on the sidewalk just to reach their car. Nights bring their own challenges. Arguments echoing through the block, sirens cutting through the dark, or the heartbreaking sight of someone overdosing just steps away from a family's front door. Children pass scenes no child should ever see. And the emotional weight of it all is something outsiders rarely grasp. Yet even with all this, residents show remarkable kindness. Some hand out cold water during heat waves. Others quietly check on people sleeping near their porch, even if they've never spoken to them before. Many call outreach teams when someone looks like they're in trouble. In a neighborhood pushed to its limits, their compassion becomes the thread holding it together. But even compassion has a breaking point when exhaustion becomes part of daily life. That exhaustion often mixes with frustration and sadness. Many residents feel forgotten, wondering why their community has become the center of the homeless crisis in America, why their streets have been left to carry the weight of a national emergency. Their voices rarely show up in a polished Kensington, Philadelphia documentary, yet they live this reality just as deeply as the people struggling on the sidewalks. They are the quiet victims of this crisis, caught between caring for others and protecting their own families, all while trying to keep a sense of stability in a place stretched thin. And their struggle leaves us with a question we can't avoid. How long can a community carry this kind of weight before something finally gives? Kensington is a neighborhood standing right at the edge of two realities. If you spend enough time here, you can feel it. A quiet tension beneath every block, a pull between breakdown and recovery. Each street carries its own contrast. A hint of hope on one corner and a wave of despair on the next. It's a community caught between two possible futures, waiting to see which one will finally take hold. There are signs of progress. Outreach workers talk about people coming back to treatment after years of drifting through these same streets. Harm reduction teams bring stability to folks who might not have survived without their help. Some longtime residents say they've noticed subtle changes. Slightly calmer days, a little more coordination between different city programs. These small wins may be delicate, but they matter. They prove that change isn't out of reach. It's just fragile. Still, the setbacks never stop, and they cut deep. Fentanyl keeps getting stronger. Xylazine makes overdoses even harder to reverse. Life on the street breaks apart any sense of routine. Relapses happen often, triggered by one bad moment or a night spent without shelter. Overdoses remain part of daily life, and the line between surviving and losing someone is razor thin, shifting hour by hour. Kensington's future depends on decisions far beyond its borders. It depends on whether the country is ready to confront the forces behind this crisis. The lack of housing, the gaps in mental health care, and treatment systems that simply cannot keep up with the speed of addiction. It depends on whether society sees addiction as a personal failure or recognizes it as what it truly is, a public health emergency that demands real solutions, not blame. So the real question isn't whether Kensington can change. The question is whether the systems around it, the policies, the institutions, the national commitment, can evolve fast enough to match a crisis unfolding in real time. Because if those systems don't keep up, Kensington won't move forward. It will remain stuck at this crossroads, waiting for the response it should have received long ago. Behind every tent, every blanket, and every quiet corner in Kensington is a person whose story carries weight. These stories rarely make it into official data or polished interviews. Yet they are the heartbeat of this neighborhood, the human truth behind a crisis most people only witness from afar. There's Eric, once a working father, now sitting on the curb with his hands locked together, trying to remember the version of himself that existed before addiction rewrote everything. He didn't come to Kensington to fade away. He came because he believed this was the one place where people might understand his pain without asking why his hope had worn so thin. Then there's Maya. She carries years of trauma in the way she speaks, in the way she holds her shoulders, in the way her eyes drop before she finds the words. She wants substance abuse rehabilitation, but the waiting list moves slowly, far slower than the storm happening inside her body and mind. Her story sounds like something you'd hear in a fentanyl addiction documentary, a life caught between desperation and a thin thread of hope that refuses to break. And then there's the young man barely in his 20s who tells me Kensington is the only place where he doesn't feel judged. He knows the danger. He knows what staying here can take from him. But for someone who has never known steady ground, even imperfect acceptance feels like safety, a small corner of the world where he can exist without apology. These individuals, and hundreds more just like them, reveal the real human cost of the Kensington fentanyl crisis. They remind us that everyone here once lived a different life. They had families, memories, jokes, birthdays, dreams, none of which have disappeared, only been buried under layers of struggle. And their presence leaves you with a question that stays long after you leave these streets. If we turn away from them now, what does that say about who we are? As the sun drops over Kensington, the shadows stretch long across the streets, and the air cools just enough for people to settle into their nighttime routines. Routines no one should ever have to accept. Standing on the edge of this neighborhood, you feel the weight of everything you've witnessed, the crisis, the humanity, and the questions that come with no simple answers. Kensington isn't just a problem for one community. It's a reflection of the nation. A mirror showing what happens when people fall and the safety nets beneath them fail. And the final question, the one that stays with you long after you leave, is this: what does it say about us if we look away now? Because whether we want to admit it or not, the future of Kensington and the future of America's most vulnerable people will reveal who we truly are as a country. It will show whether we still believe in helping each other climb back toward dignity. The next chapter of Kensington hasn't been written. But what we decide to do, or choose not to do, will shape where this story goes. This story is still unfolding, and we will keep following it.